Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Iron Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Syrian Insurance, GOIL PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. This afternoon, we are streaming live at Facebook, or on Facebook at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are streaming live at Port of Tema. On YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. We'll be getting interactive in the course of today's discussion, and the number to send your WhatsApp messages to is 053-803-7353. 053-803-7353. We would also be activating the phone lines in the course of today's discussion, and you could call in and then share your thoughts with the rest of the world. In the meantime, we're going for some messages from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Good energy brings you quality choices with GOIL Super XP. Available in many GOIL stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a GOIL station today and energize your ride with GOIL Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. GOIL Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. GOIL, good energy. Ja, ja, ja.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome to the GPHA port of Takoradi, Ghana's first commercial port. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, has in its quest to position the ports of Ghana as the leading trade and logistics hub of West Africa, embarked on a massive expansion drive at its Takoradi port, the first commercial port of the country. This has resulted in a radical transformation of the initial 7-berth low-drafted port, which was constructed in 1928, to an ultra-modern port fitted with deep drafted container, multi-purpose dry bulk, and liquid bulk facilities. The 16-meter deep dry bulk terminal is the deepest in the sub-region, with a total quay length of 800 meters. It is fitted with a combined 3-kilometer length conveyor system, which comes with a 2,500 metric tons per hour ship loading capacity, which has greatly improved ship turnaround time at the port. The Marshall Liquid Bulk Terminal is a fully automated liquid bulk facility dredged to -14 chart datum and equipped with automated firefighting system. The facility is fitted with 5 loading arms for gasoline, diesel, LPG, bitumen, and heavy fuel. On the container side, Takoradi Port's 16-meter deep Yield-Port and ATSL container terminal with a quay length of 600 is expected to receive container vessels in the third quarter of the year.
Okay, so welcome back from the break. It's now time for us to take a look at some news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry.
The recent GPHA quarterly health walk saw participation from dozens of the authority's staff and members of the port community. This improvement in numbers over the previous health walk is an indication that the employees of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and the port community are buying into the authority's drive to build a healthy workforce through regular exercise. More than 100 of the authority's staff and dependents joined the GPHA Fitness Club in a journey from the Port of Tema administration through the residential areas of Tema Communities 1 and 2 to the GPHA Sports Hall, where they ended their walk with an aerobics session. The Marketing and Public Affairs Manager of the Port of Tema, Abna Sewo Pokufosu, who doubles as the chairperson of the GPHA Sports and Entertainment Committee, urged the participants to make this a regular fixture in their lifestyle. She urged all staff to prepare adequately for the upcoming interdepartmental sports tournament.
So encourage the other people in your department to come as well. We are building a community of healthy people. There are others who have their children here. So we are inculcating that into the next generation as well. We are also preparing towards our interdepartmental games. So I would entreat that let your department know which activity you can do. The ladies, last year, we didn't feature at all. So this year, please, the ladies, at least you can do line and scoop. You can do sack race. There are other games for women. So this year, let us see the female representation as well.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has reaffirmed its commitment to providing port infrastructure to support the growth of the Ghanaian business community. The board chairman of GPHA, Isaac Osei, and the Director General of GPHA, Michael Lugoje, gave this assurance during the GPHA Board of Directors' recent tour of ongoing projects being undertaken to familiarize themselves with progress of work as part of efforts to bring modern development to Ghana's premier port in Takoradi. They toured the new container and multi-purpose terminal being managed by Turkey's Yield-Port Holdings and Atlantic Terminal Services Limited, a subsidiary of the indigenous company Ibestec.
Well, the business community, I think they can always continue to trust the Port Authority.
that our focus on developing port infrastructure to meet their needs. We remain focused on that. We are working hard at that. They can see, based on this kind of facilities and the massive expansion in Takrady Port, this container terminal will start very soon. We are much more improved way of operating. For shipping lines as well, of course, there's no doubt they are going to have a much more professional environment of working, where efficiency will be the focus.
The board came here to see things for ourselves. We are satisfied that progress can be made, over here. The technical aspects they have explained to us, and if there are any teething problems, I think we can work them out. But that's for the Director General and his management team to work out with our partners.
The terminal has received a fleet of live hair Harbour cranes in readiness for the official commencement of operations by November this year.
Discussions with the managing director on site. We've seen that they've positioned some mobile Harbour cranes here, and I think that they are just about ready to receive. They've done some stakeholder engagements, so I'm quite sure that they should be ready. What we have seen here gives us hope for the future. It's a brand new terminal, and hopefully in the course of time they will also bring in new equipment to enable us do this work. All I can say,
And so far we are happy. I'm sure you heard the board chairman talking about it. We are happy with the progress of work. Of course, the expectation was to even start a bit earlier. And indeed, for the oil and gas terminal, the focus is for them to be able to finish at least the key wall side of it by the middle of November.
While in anticipation for the commissioning and official commencement of cargo operations before the end of the year, the board also took the opportunity to inspect ongoing works at the oil and gas terminal project site, where marine works are steadily progressing.
Okay, so away from that, let's also go to internationally. Let's go internationally to also find out what is happening in the port and maritime industry there.
Swiss shipping behemoth Mediterranean Shipping Company is investing heavily in fleet renewal, with agreements signed for up to 18 new container ships, all to be powered by liquefied natural gas. Data published by Intermodal Shipbrokers indicate that the Swiss major ordered 6 box ships at Chinese shipyard SWS. The 19,000 TEU vessels, which have a price tag of $210 million each, will be dual-fueled. They are slated for delivery between 2027 and 2028. In addition to LNG propulsion, the new builds will be ammonia and methanol ready with various energy-saving optimization equipment. Energy and commodities company Vitol has revealed that it is on track to meet the International Maritime Organization's target set in 2019 to reduce emissions by 40% by 2030 compared to 2008 levels, thanks to a comprehensive dry dock program. As part of the fleet dry dock program this year, 4 very large gas carriers have been upgraded, and a further 4 vessels are due to go through the process this year. Recently, Vitol, through its shipping company, Vitol International Shipping, secured 3 LNG bunkering vessels via a charter agreement with the UK-based company Avenir LNG and another at CIMC Sino-Pacific Offshore and Engineering Shipyard in Nantong, China. Last year, Vitol traded over 17 million tons of LNG worldwide. The company has been investing in bio-LNG infrastructure through its subsidiary Vigo Bioenergy and also provides bunker fuels through its subsidiary Vitol Bunkers.
It's now time for us to take our word of the day, and today's word of the day is offshore.
Offshore. In the maritime industry, the term offshore refers to activities, structures, or areas that are located away from the coastline or in open waters.
All right, so this afternoon we are looking at two segments for this particular edition of Iron Port. First, we're going to have a discussion with the representative of our long-standing sponsors, GOIL PLC, and after which we would also have a discussion with Mr. Fiatui from CIMAC to discuss what they've picked up at following some works that they did on our coastlines in order to protect the coastlines, and also for them to bring us some sustainable measures that governments can take in order to protect those coastlines. So firstly, I have in the studio Mr. Robert Tre. He's the Public Relations Manager for GOIL PLC. Mr. Tre, good afternoon, and thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, Solomon.
And it's a pleasure having you in the studio.
I'm also privileged to be here.
And I think it's also right for us to say we always appreciate the long-standing relationship that GOIL and Iron Port has, and this has we're getting to a decade or so.
Precisely, something like that.
So we pray that this relationship will be strengthened all the time.
We're doing all this in the interest of our great nation and to serve the people of Ghana.
Okay, so Mr. Tre, just like I said in my intro, we are looking at GOIL Super XP that you introduced recently. I want to find out from you, first and foremost, tell us about the Super XP.
Let me first begin with a preamble by saying that, first, let me greet our cherished customers and all those who patronize our products. It's because of them that we exist. So I salute them for their continued patronage of our products.
Okay.
But let me first start by saying that GOIL for over 60 years, precisely about 64 years, we have continued and blazed a trail in terms of petroleum product marketing.
Okay.
And from the days of our JIP that was transferred to the state as an asset, GOIL PLC has over the years supplied products to the country to fuel the economy and for nation building. So it is in this light that over the years we have come out with very good and sustainable products that will benefit not only the people in terms of commuting, but also to fuel the thrust of our economy, the engine that works in our economy. So over the years we have been selling gasoline and gas oil.
Okay.
For the gasoline, that is why we are here. So Super already has been on the market.
Okay.
So since I give this about over 60 years, Super, that is called gasoline, has been on the market and we have been selling it.
Okay.
About 5 years ago, we also blazed the trail. God is always the first to blaze the trail by listening to consumer insights and came out with Super SP Raw 95.
Yeah.
That was an epoch-making introduction that we had.
Okay.
That was meant to give customers value for money in terms of the product introduction.
Okay.
And also give them a better offering in terms of them to be able to access the best product that we have on the market.
Okay.
Now, listening to consumer insights, of course, in this marketing business, you need to be aware of consumer insights that comes up.
Very well.
And to listen to customers. So we decided that after selling Raw 95 for some time,
okay,
it is important that you go and get insights from our customers on the market,
okay,
listen to them. And what they are telling us is that they are looking for choices.
Okay.
Choices also because of the fact that in an increasingly competitive market, there's a need for us to give them a wide range of choices of products that we offer.
Very well.
And
so they can make their decisions.
So that they can make their informed
decisions. Very well.
So we decided that besides the Raw 95 that we are selling, which has now over the years with time become a premium product,
okay,
the MPA made us aware that we should mark and say that, okay, this is a product that you are bringing. If you are selling any product, mark it, either it's premium or it's the standard fuel.
Very well.
And in the market, when you come to super products, we have the standard fuel that is RON 91.
Yeah.
And then we have the premium fuel. So the premium fuel that we were selling was RON 95. Okay. So we decided that we had to give consumers choices.
Very well.
And that is the reason why we introduced Super SP.
Yeah.
And that is the RON 91. You know, RON 91 is the research, RON is the research octane number.
Okay.
Research octane number tells you the grade of the fuel.
Okay.
So what we were selling was RON 95. The research octane number was 95. Now we have come to introduce RON 91 back onto the market, but with a distinction. And I'm sure with our conversation going forward, you'll be able to know why we introduced that product onto the market. So without taking the wind out of your sail, it is important that people understand that it is from a request from Consumer Insights that we are also reintroducing RON 91, which is our Super SP. And this is our product that we have introduced on the market. And that is why we are here to tell them that now when they go to our stations, we have the choices there for everybody to choose. Either you choose our standard fuel, which is Super SP, or Super SP RON 95. Those are the offerings that we are giving to our customers.
Okay. So could you also highlight some of the key features of the Super XP?
But before that, let me say that we are offering them because we know that it is a very good product.
Okay.
We are saying that we are not selling only Super. We are selling Super with distinction. And that is why the SP comes in.
Okay.
SP, Super SP, it means that we have added an additive, which is the SP3. The SP3 enhances the quality of our fuel.
Okay.
We have realized that customers are not only looking for the choices per se. They are, apart from the choices, they are looking for something that is quality. And pricing is key.
Very well.
So they are not looking for only low pricing, but high quality. And that is why and what GOIL offers.
Okay.
So we are giving them prices that they can manage and buy. And our Super is also of high quality.
Okay.
So it is a Super SP. It is SP3 additive enhanced. So that is what distinguishes it from other Super that you have on the market. Now back to your question. The qualities are there to see. If I tell you that it is mixed with SP3, it means that there is something that has been added, and that is that it has been additivated. Okay. There's an additive in it. So some of the qualities is that apart from it being a top quality fuel, it is also fuel efficient.
Okay.
When you put it in your vehicle, it cleans your carburetors and our fuel injectors. And also, now we are talking about the environment. The environment is key in terms of the emission of toxic substances into the atmosphere.
Very well.
And GOIL is mindful of that aspect, and that is why our Super SP comes in handy. So if you go to our stations, you will find that if you buy our product, you will get value for money.
Okay.
You are able to get about many things. It's also resistant to knocking, and it boosts your engine performance. When you put that fuel into your car, it's amazing how your car will perform.
Okay.
You're going to get good mileage for the little fuel that you put in your car. And it's not a miracle. It has been tested, and people are talking about it. That is why there's a need for anybody and everybody out there to go to any GOIL station across the country. The good thing is that GOIL is everywhere across the country.
Yeah.
So whether you are in Accra or in Hamile or in Boko or in Asankragwa, you can get a GOIL station. That is what distinguishes us also from our competitors.
Very well. And currently, how many stations do we have?
We have over 400 stations across the country.
Okay.
Spread across the country.
Okay.
And it's important that people recognize the contribution of GOIL. Of course, there are many people in the industry and our competitors who may not be very much interested in going to places where they won't sell.
Very well.
But we have a duty to perform as GOIL.
Yeah.
It's not only profit that we make. It's also our duty to serve the country. And I said that we have a very rich heritage as GOIL as an entity. We have served the people of Ghana, driving the economy. So if there is, for example, a region that has been set up, Dambai will have to get fuel. So if there are no stations in Dambai, what happens? That's why GOIL comes in handy.
Okay.
That's why it's very important that besides the little profit that we make, we contribute generally to the development and the driving of the economy, not only in Accra, Kumasi, and the big cities, but across the country, in the villages, in the towns, where they need fuel for their tractor to be able to plow our farms, where they need fuel to convey goods and other items onto the markets. That is why GOIL is there.
Okay. And then talking about the stations in the villages and all that, does it mean the XP, Super XP now can also be found in those villages?
In fact, when we started rolling out that, we have made sure that it is in many of our stations now. With time, everywhere it will be filled to all our stations. So if you go anywhere, you can get it. But for now, we have introduced almost about 2/3 of it now have. It's a gradual process.
Okay.
So
okay.
We'll introduce, but anywhere you go, you can get GOIL fuel to buy.
Okay.
Because we have all the grades there. You have Super SP 95 there, and we have Super SP also there. So whether you like the Super SP 95, which are specific for certain vehicles and has been categorized as premium, or you want the standard fuel that I'm talking about, that is Super SP, you can get it in any of our stations to buy. So there will not be anything at all. There are choices for you. Either you go for premium, if your car is of a higher grade that wants to get 95, and particularly Super SP, if you want that one also, you can get it. Because at the end of the day, it's important that you go for quality. Not only the one that is easily affordable, but the one also beyond affordability, the one also that has quality and its efficacy has been proven with our SP3 additive that we add.
I know you launched the reintroduction of the Super XP. How did it go? And also, have you picked any feedback from customers?
It was fantastic. You could see the enthusiasm of consumers and customers across the length and breadth of this country. We first did a review of the product in Kumasi and Accra, and from then on, from last week, our zones, we have 8 zones across the length and breadth of this country. We have divided them into zones. So all the zones from Tamale to Wa to all of them will start reaching out to the public. And to be honest with you, people are now very much relieved that at least they can get the choices and buy which one they want. From aboboya to motorcycles to all of them, they will have what they want. And not only that, it is quality also. So it is not just that we are selling any other fuel. We are selling fuel with additive that gives quality to your vehicle. So they will start doing that, doing the education, telling drivers of the fuel they have to buy. They will go to every nook and cranny of where GOIL is and where people buy fuel and educate the drivers. So it's an opportunity for me to tell everybody that it is important that you look for Super SP, because that is what is going to be key in driving out people to the stations to buy.
So I know you've given us reasons why we should patronize GOIL fuels. I mean, aside the reasons that you've cited, I mean, what other reasons? Because I know there is this mantra that you use, GOIL Yayedia. I mean, so
yes,
why that mantra, and then also why should that be something that people should buy your fuel based on the mantra as well?
Solomon, when we say Yayedia, we're not saying that Yayedia, so we should treat it anyhow.
Yeah.
Our mantra simply means that we have an asset. We have a heritage. And if you have an asset and you have a heritage, what you do is to hold it very well. Because if the asset falls down, what happens is that it brings negativity to the entity and to the people. Over the years, we have become a very important institution that people rely on.
Okay.
What happened? Yeah, idea means that you and I, we own GOIL because it is an indigenous oil marketing entity. We are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. In fact, up to about 15,000 shareholders are listed. They own shares in GOIL and companies. So at the end of every year, I'm sure you have attended any of our annual general meetings.
Very well.
If we declare dividend, and this year we also declare dividend, and the money they take home, what it means is that they are using the money for the development of our country. It's not taken anywhere.
Yeah.
And GOIL is the biggest indigenous marketing entity that has a lot of people holding shares. So at the end of every year, the dividends come back for the development of our own country. So that is why we say that it is important to look at the national entity as crucial as GOIL and invest in it. It's important for people to look at our shares and go and buy shares. It is only through that that we can develop our country. We have been talking about indigenization. It is important that we look at this indigenization with the eye that if we want Ghana to develop, then we must support industries or companies that are doing well in our country. And GOIL is one of them. We have done a lot in terms of investment. And I'm sure we'll mention to you some of the investment that we have branched into, trying to become an energy company that serves the people with their energy needs. So Yaya Dia simply means that it's our own. People have invested in it. They get profit. And when they get profit, they reinvest. They don't take it anywhere. Because shareholders at the end of the year, I'm sure you know that Ghana's economy, the way it is now, and local companies that reinvest in their, that is where we should invest our attention on. And I'm happy so far that people are patronizing GOIL, and we want to make this appeal that they use the opportunity for us to be able to invest more and buy our products. If they buy our products, we'll be able to do more for the country. Imagine police, military, navy, they all fuel from GOIL. So it is a national asset that we should not toy with. And that is why we should hold it as a very crucial asset.
And I also know that GOIL has been the leading oil marketing company in the country. And then you've held on to this title for a very long time. Are you able to share with us, why you continue to hold on to being the leading oil marketing company?
You know, with the increasing competition, we are not bothered at all. We are unfazed by the increasing competition because we know our projections, we know where we are going. And there are a lot of things that we have done to be able to expand our portfolio.
Okay.
We have expanded our portfolio into bitumen. We want to support government's agenda, the roads that we are building. So we have constructed, together with our Ivorian partners, SMB of La Côte d'Ivoire, we have constructed a modern bitumen plant which officially will be opening. In fact, we have started selling in Tema to supply raw bitumen to contractors for the construction of roads. And our bitumen is not an ordinary one. It is a very unique one that now these days they prefer. So that one is there. You know, in support of government's agenda also, or this gas cylinder recirculation, we have also constructed 2 plants, one in Kumasi and one in Tema, which will be in operation very soon. So we have decided that it is better that we also expand to other crucial sectors of need for the country so that we can serve the people better. Beyond that, we have also done a lot in other services and applications. We have recently opened a modern auto gas stations that supplies gas to vehicles. And 5 of them were opened recently. I'm sure you saw it on our news. So in all facets of the energy sector, we want to help and contribute to building Mother Ghana by supplying them with their energy needs.
So after the launch of the reintroduction of the Super SP, are there any promotions that the public should expect?
Promotions are ongoing. So from next week, our zones in the regions will activate the promotions. They'll be getting some customers' gifts and items. Those who buy from our station, Super SP, they will get gifts and other promotional items as a way of rewarding our customers for their loyalty to the brand, because they are there for us and we are also there for them. It is important that we reward them. Okay. So promotional activities will follow. And all we are saying is that if you pass any GOIL station, you will get at least something you buy, you'll get something beginning next week.
Okay.
And we entreat them to patronize. And the interesting thing about Super SP is that it is for almost all vehicles.
Okay.
It is good for all vehicles.
Okay.
It's a standard fuel. The additional top-up is that it is additivated with that. It's mixed with additives, enhanced with additives. Okay. So that is what is happening.
Okay. So as we bring our discussion to an end, looking forward, what are GOIL's plans in terms of innovation in the petroleum industry?
I've already spoken about some of them.
Yeah.
We intend to explore many other options to meet the energy needs of the country. In fact, in terms of innovations, our GO card comes in handy. To be able to make our transactions very cashless, we have our GO card, that is the electronic payment system, that if you get a card, you don't necessarily need to fear putting cash on you. You can use the card to buy any of our products. We also have several other things that we also do. We are very much mindful of the fact that people are looking for an innovative means of getting their products. The GOIL app is there. If you go on the GOIL app, you should be able to use that to buy fuel. And it is an important payment channel. So we have multi-payment channels that we have introduced to aid and assist customers to be able to purchase our product. It's a very good way of telling them that they don't have to make find it difficult to be able to get our products to buy. So I entreat customers that the new way to go is to use our card. We are all going cashless, and we have to be in tune with what is going on across the world and across the country. Exactly. In fact, GOIL, our social intervention program, has been a very important linchpin for our activities. Of course, if you do some of these things and they don't directly benefit the people, then you haven't done anything. So the profits we make, we go directly to the people. Our corporate social responsibility, it's fixed on three things. That is providing education, water, and health. These are SDG goals 3, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
And we have, over the years, decided that we will provide boreholes for communities in need.
Yeah.
And every year, at least, we think about 10, which are selected based on their need. And we provide to the communities. Okay. In fact, next week, we are going to open some in the central region.
Okay.
And in terms of health needs, we have, over the years, sustainably made sure that hospitals are provided with beds to resolve some of the accommodation and bed needs of our people in need. Okay. And then, in terms of education, you are very much aware of our
National Science and Maths
and other science-based programs. Of course, GOIL, a lot of scientists are there. We have a lot of engineers. So the least we can do is to at least support people and groom up the budding scientists who will be up and running and to be able to chart a very important future for our country. So we have been doing a lot, aside all the donations that we have been giving to people. It is best for us as a company to sustainably reach out to people and make sure that they get at least the profit that at least we share with them. Okay. That's the least we can do to a very loyal...
To give back to society.
Loyal community and society.
Okay, so I think the final one is a message. It's Maxwell from Tema says, why is it that your GO card, you can transfer money from your GO card to mobile money, but you cannot do from mobile money to your Gold card?
In fact, it's a process that is ongoing. So
okay.
very soon you will see that, and we will check on that. And I mean, some people are able to do it, so we will check on that and make sure that many of these bottlenecks are addressed.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for coming.
Thank you very much. And it's a privilege to be here.
Very well.
And thank you for the program.
All right. Thank you. So has been our discussion with the Public Relations Manager of GOIL PLC, Mr. Robert Tre. We've been talking about the recently introduction of the GOIL Super XP, which was attended. The function was well attended by a lot of people in the industry. We are going for a break. We'll be right back with the second segment of tonight's program. Thank you.
Good energy brings you quality choices with GOIL Super XP. Available in many GOIL stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a GOIL station today and energize your ride with GOIL Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. GOIL Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. GOIL, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome to the GPHA port of Takoradi, Ghana's first commercial port. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, has in its quest to position the ports of Ghana as the leading trade and logistics hub of West Africa, embarked on a massive expansion drive at its Takoradi port, the first commercial port of the country. This has resulted in a radical transformation of the initial 7-berth low-drafted port, which was constructed in 1928, to an ultra-modern port fitted with deep-drafted container, multi-purpose dry bulk, and liquid bulk facilities. The 16-meter deep dry bulk terminal is the deepest in the sub-region, with a total quay length of 800 meters. It is fitted with a combined 3-kilometer length conveyor system, which comes with a 2,500 metric tons per hour ship loading capacity, which has greatly improved ship turnaround time at the port. The Marshall Liquid Bulk Terminal is a fully automated liquid bulk facility dredged to -14 chart datum and equipped with automated firefighting system. The facility is fitted with 5 loading arms for gasoline, diesel, LPG, bitumen, and heavy fuel. On the container side, Takoradi Port's 16-meter deep Yield-Port and ATSL container terminal with a quay length of 600 is expected to receive container vessels in the 3rd quarter of the year.
All right, so welcome back to the second segment of tonight's program. And I have in the studios Mr. Albert Derek Fiatui. He is the Executive Director for the Center for International Maritime Affairs, Ghana. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. And we'll be discussing how we can protect the coastlines of the country, and then the need for urgent measures and sustainable solutions, because CIMAG has done some work on our coastlines and want to interrogate them on the works that they've done, and also how safe or how deplorable our coastlines are. So Mr. Fiatui here will be doing us the honors by answering some questions on the coastline issue. And then viewers, we've also had someone from the Ghana Geological Authority come here to discuss this particular subject on the coastline. He gave us the perspective of the government, what they intend doing. CIMAG is a policy think tank, and then they have some sustainable recommendations, that they think when government adheres to that, it will be able to solve the problems on our coastline. So, Mr. Fiatui, first and foremost, what is the state of Ghana's coastlines from CIMAG's perspective?
Thank you very much, and I say good evening to you and our viewers.
Good evening.
I want to say that the Center for International Maritime Affairs Ghana, CIMAG, is a think tank not only concerned about the maritime space or the blue economy, but also our coast and the coastlines.
Okay.
And because of our interest in that area, we have been observing our coastline for a very long time now, and we think that now our coast is under a huge stress. Ghana has one of the longest coastlines in West Africa, about 550 kilometers, which is around 360 miles.
Okay.
And that should be a blessing for us. Unfortunately, because of the way we have handled it, due to coastal erosion and tidal wave destruction, we are fast losing this beautiful coastline of ours from Havasini to Aplau. And we think that there is the urgent need for us to take action if we don't want to lose the beautiful sides of our coastlines.
All right, so you are saying there's a need to take action. So what are some of the actions that can be taken? And then before that, let's zoom into the Kita one. When you went to that particular spot, what were your findings?
We had very frightening findings. When you go to the Volta estuary, not too far from Ada,
okay,
there used to be a community, or there used to be some communities there.
Okay.
Fuveme is one, and some other adjoining ones. When you go there today, those communities are gone. They do not exist, meaning that geography has lost some track. Those communities are no more on the map because they have been consumed by the sea. When you go to Ketusat, from Denu area, coming towards where we have the sea defense walls erected,
okay,
those areas are also going. Some are almost up to the road. And so we don't need anybody to tell you that we are in danger, because once we are losing the communities from both ends, it will not take, it can take a day, just a day, for the whole place to be swallowed up, because it's a nature or natural attack from the sea, and nobody has control over that. Fortunately for us, some countries have been able to protect their coastlines with some technologies.
Okay.
And we are just saying that it is time for us to take action and be able to adopt some of those technologies and strategies so that we can protect the coastline and our people. A lot of livelihoods, a lot of lives and properties are at risk.
All right. You have described the rate as unprecedented. I mean, why so?
You know, about a year ago when we started our study, the rate of recession was about 2.2 meters as against 0.6 across the board. I can tell you for a fact, I'm just coming from the place. Now, some areas are even experiencing up to 6 meters. The communities that are gone, we cannot even give them any rate of recession anymore. So that is how scary the situation on Kita area is. And we know when these issues come up, what we normally do in Africa is to say, let us engage in coastal engineering.
Very well.
That is mostly the rock sea defense walls.
Very well.
And we have done a lot of research and studies, and have come up with our proposals, which we've been trumpeting all along, that the sea defense wall erection is not a permanent solution to the challenge that we face with coastal erosion. When you go to the developed world, or those who have been able to defeat this challenge, they also erect the sea walls, but they use that as temporary measures to contain the situation, after which they bring in proper solutions. Because the greatest challenge that it brings is that once the sea wall is erected, it opens up for spreading.
Okay.
So you erect a sea wall here, by the time you realize the adjoining areas are also under attack. Aside that, coastal biodiversity is destroyed.
Okay.
And as people who are concerned about the environment, we do not think that that should be the way to go. We are not saying that sea defense walls should not be erected, but just as it's done in other places, it should be just a stopgap measure, after which we find permanent solutions to the challenge.
And then I think, so far with your engagement, I mean, have you picked up any signals that those technologies are something that we'll be venturing into?
Let me say here that, fortunately for the Center for International Maritime Affairs Ghana, and myself, I am part of the team working on the development of the Sustainable Ocean Plan for Ghana. Can you see the Sustainable SDGs Advisory Unit of the Office of the President? I mean, the unit is doing so much, I must admit, to help protect our coast and do what is necessary for the blue economy. And so we are in the process of putting out the plan. A lot of work has been done. Last year, we went across the country to engage the communities to understand firsthand what needs to be done, not just sitting in Accra or somewhere and saying that, this is the technology that is required. We engage the people to understand exactly what is needed, because these are people who have had paradoxical relationships with the sea for so long.
That's
so you
true.
cannot take them for granted. So as part of that Sustainable Ocean Plan development, there is this project we call the West African Coastal Areas Program, which is the WACA program.
Okay.
And under that program as well, I know that some funds have been secured and project is going to be starting soon. So to answer your question directly, I think that the WACA project, which had been carried out in some of the countries in West Africa, when it is done, some of the proposals we are making will be seen at play.
Okay.
That is the reclamation and also coastal afforestation.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. That said, also tell us, I mean, what you've advocated for tree planting, particularly mangoes, to stabilize coastline.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes.
And then what role do you think this will play in safeguarding the coastline?
You know, mangrove is one of the vegetation cover that protects the coastal environment. In the whole world, when you go to where nature-based approaches are adopted to protect the coast, the major vegetation that is used is the mangroves and the coconut trees. Unfortunately for us, in the Keta area where we are having this devastating challenge, when you go to a community like Anyangwi, we have mangroves there, but it has become what the community people depend on. They cut these mangroves as firewoods for sale.
Ignorantly?
Ignorantly, yes, ignorantly. So there is the need for a lot of education to be done, and also livelihood empowerment. They have depended on this for a very long time, and we think that education will have to be carried out for them to understand that the mangrove there is rather protecting them from the devastation. So it should not be seen as an economic activity where they cut it for firewood. If at all there is anything that should be done to make money, it should be planting of more mangroves, for which maybe they are paid. You know, mostly when you talk about it, it looks weird or minor, because you ask yourself, how can you go and protect the coastal environment with just mangroves, with all these tidal wave distractions? But scientifically, it has proven to be one of the greatest ways of protecting the environment. And we think that we should encourage the planting of that across board. We are blessed in Ghana to have a lot of sandy beaches. We have few rocky ones, but we can plant these mangroves along the sandy beaches to be able to protect the coast.
Earlier, you made mention of the fact that some countries have adopted some technologies in order to use those technologies to protect their coastlines and all that. So tell us, I mean, what are some of these technologies that are available that could be utilized to or used to, you know, protect the coastlines?
You know, we are all talking today about green technologies because of climate change and environmental devastation. There is a beautiful technology that has been used in Taiwan. It's called the reshore technology. Reshore, yes. And that technology allows for weakening of the wave energy. And that weakening used to generate energy. And so it is a green technology. So there is no direct effect on the coastal environment. Rather, they protect it and reclaim, you know, sand from the sea. And we think that is one of the areas we should be looking at. Beyond that, when you go to Netherlands, they have used the nature-based approach. When you go to UK, they have
the mango.
Yes, the mangroves. When you go to UK, they've also used some other technologies. So in Ghana, we don't even have to reinvent the wheel. Ours is to understudy those countries which are successful and replicate what they've done here to be able to secure our coastline.
And I mean, are these captured in your recommendations? I mean, following the work that you did on the coastline?
Yes, it's been captured. And we are going to, we are ECOSOC accredited organization, United Nations accredited, and also the United Nations Environment Program. In fact, we are putting together a document to present to the United Nations and the United Nations Environment Program on some of our findings and recommendations, and also some observations that we have made so that it can trickle down to every part of Africa and the world.
Okay, so what would you say are the main challenges, that a country faces in implementing both the nature-based and then the technological one?
I think the greatest challenge is funding. Successive governments have made efforts, but of course these are high investment projects. If you want to undertake this green technology that we are talking about, it requires a lot of money. That is why we commend highly the World Bank for coming up with the WACA project.
Yeah.
We appreciate it so much, but we know that we'll need a lot more to be able to tackle the entire coast. I know that when the project takes off, it's going to be in pilot. They will take care of some areas and then look at where they can get additional funding for the rest. So I think the greatest challenge has been funding. If you are looking at a challenge in terms of the courses, then we'll say that there are some actions that are taken by the citizens or the communities that are also leading to some of these challenges we are facing, especially sand winning. So we think that there should be education for the people to understand that some actions from them are also causing the devastation that they are experiencing along the coast.
I think that was going to be my next question, actually, that what are the main, how can local communities be involved? Because it's like you plan to set up things to protect them. You set an example of the mango, for instance, where you are cutting the trees and all that. Yeah. So, at what level should they be engaged in all these? In achieving the ultimate goal of protecting the coastal lines?
I think the biggest one is what the committee that is preparing the SOP has done by engaging the community and explaining to them their actions and inactions that may lead to coastal erosion. Aside the tidal wave rise or sea level rise that is natural, even though we can say that it is as a result of climate change, which we cannot take ourselves from. So education, sensitization is what is key to be able to get the people to understand that they are involved. You know, the Kita area especially, in the colonial times, was one of the seaports and one of the biggest economic zones of the country. Okay. But because of this issue of tidal wave distraction, the whole place is now virtually gone. So if the people there understand that this is for us, when we are not able to do what is required, we are going to lose our heritage. I'm sure they will be able to do what is necessary to protect the place. We are also proposing that, especially for sand winning, there should be some legislation to prevent people from going out there to win sand from the seashores, because it's one of the devastating challenges that the place faces. Now we see some improvement. The assemblies are working hard to control that, but we are human beings. It's still happening in the nights that you cannot control. But when there is a legislation, then people are brought to book when they take all of us, or they try to take all of us to ransom. Yeah.
And then also, if urgent measures are not taken, what are the long-term impacts of the Kita region, for instance, and its communities, if urgent steps are not taken?
If no action or urgent steps are not taken, we are not going to have Kita on the map of Ghana anymore. And it is not just a saying. I mentioned from the beginning that there are some communities that are already gone. We have a community like Fuveme, there's a place called Pokpokbo, and other areas that about 3 years ago were communities with schools and all the things that you find in modern communities. Today, because of tidal wave distraction, they are not there. It started from there. When you go to down Ketu South, there are some communities that are also going. So, once it starts this way, you don't have to wait for the next thing to happen. You just have to take action to be able to protect. Fortunately for us, even those places that are gone, if we apply the appropriate technologies, we can engage in some reclamation and be able to get the communities back, and then come to what we call soil or sun nourishment, so that the places can also be vegetable again for us to plant.
Fertile.
Yes, to plant those vegetations that we are proposing. So it is not a lost battle, but if we don't take action very fast, then we are going to lose it. Yes.
Still staying with the Keta side, I mean, you made mention that in 2 years, if urgent measures are not taken, we could lose that one completely. Yes. I mean, how did you come by that within 2 years?
You know, I mentioned that 2 years ago and last year, the standard rate of recession is 2.2 meters. In that
2.2
meters.
Meters, okay.
Yeah, per annum, in that area alone. But as we speak, some areas are going as much as 6 meters and even 8. And that is the reason why some communities are already gone. So once you look at these statistics, you should know that there is danger. You know, the average rate of recession that we experience across board is 0.6. So look at that by 2.2 2 years ago, and now some are going for as far as 6 and even 8. To be very frank, some are even 10. So you can just look at the fact that the places are going, the sea is virtually swallowing the community. And so we have to try to take it back or fight it back. We don't have to wait for the whole place to be consumed before we start action by trying to do the reclamation. At least now we have some places left. We have an area designated there for the Kita Port project, which is also under severe attack. And so it's a national asset that we need to really work on. Yes.
Okay, so let me go to the phone lines. Let me announce the phone lines first, and then I'll come to some messages. So the number you can call to join the discussion is 0205 528353. 0205 528353. The lines have been activated, so you can call in and share your thoughts with us. So this one says, if you're from Kumasi, says, this issue is really worrying. I want to know how come it's taking so long for this to become a major topic of discussion. Have there been any early warning signs or reports that were ignored? We need to be more proactive. What would you say to Ifya?
In the proactiveness is what we are calling on government to do. They have been trying to do what they can, but we think that is not enough. We need to look at it as a national disaster and confront it as such. You know, when it occurs yearly, we go there with relief items. NADMO comes on board to help. You know, people who are sympathetic towards the plight of people come and do their donations and go. Then we wait for the next year for it to occur again. And we think that is not a good approach to the situation. If we really value our coastline, we should confront it holistically and make sure that situation is addressed, especially when we know that this is not the first place that this situation is cropping its head. It has happened at other places, and they have been able to address them. So it is only for us to prioritize. Even though we know funding is a huge challenge for government of Ghana and other governments on the continent, we should be looking at other means of funding to be able to, tackle it. That is why the WACA project or the World Bank's funding is one that has come in handy. And we plead with government to fast-track the process so that the project starts as soon as possible. 2 years ago, we were supposed to start, but we lost out on that due to our own internal bureaucracies. And Benin and Abidjan have been able to secure the funding. And when you go to those countries now, their beaches are quite protected and beautiful. And we believe that when Ghana takes off, what we are discussing today, the next time we come here, we'll say that yes, indeed, we have advocated for a good cause and we have seen the results.
Okay. So Yao in Takrady says, listening to all these solutions, I'm curious about the cost. How much would it actually cost to implement some of these nature-based or technological solutions? And where is the money going to come from? Can we afford it, or will we need an international help? I'm sure you've mentioned the World Bank one.
It's difficult to put a cost to it now, but I can just assure my brother that, or tell him that it's very, very expensive. And I think that is the reason why it has taken this while for us to take a strong measure. So the coming in of the World Bank is a good one for us. And we think that now that they have come in, other development partners will also look at what they've done and come to support us to protect the space.
Well, I was also thinking that in the works that you went to do there, I was thinking you could put cost to some of what you want to see. Maybe then you can tell government, oh, maybe we need $5 million, we need $10 million, we need $20 million to be able to do. I think it's something that you should consider. I mean, so that at least government will also have an idea as to how much, I mean, it needs to spend in order to, salvage the coastlines. Or you disagree?
I agree with you, but sometimes when you come on air, it's not all the information that you want to put across there.
So we are withholding some of the information.
I'm not withholding, but the World Bank has given us about $1.5 million to start with, and that is just to start with. So that should tell you what is actually required. The total project cost that has been given to the 8 countries of the West African sub-region for the project is about $10 billion, which is being shared among the various countries.
Okay.
So at a glance, you only have to do the division by the 8 and see what. But it doesn't mean that money is enough to take care of the whole, challenge. So if I put a cost to it now, I think I'm putting some limitation on other development partners who may want to come in to support us.
Okay.
So I think that I am doing this to ask that a lot is required, and so we need a lot more of our development partners to come on board to assist government to do this project.
Yes. Okay, so Kwame Azu from Accra Newtown says, great discussion so far. I'm wondering, with all these talks about solutions, what about the livelihoods of the people living along the Keta coastline? How are they supposed to cope with this erosion problem while we wait for these long-term solutions? Are there any immediate measures to support them?
Yeah. The project comes with livelihood empowerment programs. Once, for instance...
That's the LEAP?
Not the LEAP. This one is separate, attached to this project.
Okay.
Once you engage in a project like this and you involve the community, especially with the mangrove issue that I discussed earlier on.
Yeah.
They cut it for their livelihood. They prepared as firewood and sell. So if you are asking them not to cut it, what do you want them to depend on? So the proposal we have is that they should rather engage in the planting of these mangroves for a fee, so that at least they can make some money from that. If they are not going to cut it, then they should plant it and also make money from it. So it's one of the things that we can look at. And also, we have mariculture. We have a lot of other projects that we can do to empower the communities. Mostly they are fishers. And there are also new technologies to fishing now beyond what we used to know. So training and capacity building for those in the communities to engage in productive ventures to take care of themselves are also underway. In Ghana today we talk about galamsey, but I think that one of the biggest challenges to the environment of Ghana today, beside galamsey, is the coastal erosion or tidal wave destruction, and we need to really pay attention to it.
Okay, so in when we went around the countries, I mean, is it that everything is gone, or there are some that are not in bad shape, and government needs to protect those ones so that they also don't, get to the point where, they are eroded?
Exactly, so my brother, it's eroding at a very fast pace than we used to know. That is why we are saying that now government have to take action. Even though we know that government is making some efforts with the worker project, we say that they should take a faster approach than what they are doing now, so that just like we've seen in those communities that are gone, we don't experience same in the ones that are currently there. When you go to where we have the sea defense project now, that is around Voja, the adjacent areas are also going, even though we have the project. So do we have to wait for those places to also go? there is a beautiful fort there called Fort Presenton. I think about 60% of it is gone now.
60%?
Yes, it's gone now. And that is a very great tourist project that is there, which has attracted a lot of people into the community. So if we are waiting for something terrible to happen before we protect it, then we are going to be losing revenue as well. Tourism is one of the key, areas that we get a lot of money from for our development projects. So if our coast is going, it means that we are going to lose a lot of money, because in Ghana, I can say that the tourism sector, the coastline carries a lot of it.
Okay.
That is where we have the hotels, we have the castles and the forts. So it's not just about those people living in the communities, but about the whole country and what we depend on to survive as a nation. Yes.
And in all this, you're also advocating that the indigenes shouldn't be left out.
No, they understand the issues. So once you don't involve them, you will not be able to achieve anything. I am a social science student, and I know that when you go into any community and you don't do the proper community entry, nothing works for you, because you may think that you have the scientific understanding and studies, but you'll be surprised when you go there and realize that they have deeper understanding of the issue than what you have learned from books. So you cannot succeed without them being part of any project planning and implementation.
Very well. They have been living there also for a very long time.
Exactly.
So during interactions, what were some of the recommendations that they also brought up? Did they also make suggestions to your team?
I think at this point they are only living in fear.
They're living in fear.
Yeah, and they're scared because they don't know what will happen the next day. And some are even relocating, which we think is not the best.
No, why is it not the best? If they are relocating, it's to save their lives.
When you look at it on the other hand, yes, but
where are they going to?
That is the challenge. That is the challenge. A lot of the young people, when there are issues, where do we go to? We move to Accra. Accra is already choked. The cities are already choked. So if we are able to develop our other regions and communities, and we spread development across, there will not be need for the center being choked. And I think that is one of the key points for our governments, and I'm sure they are making plans towards that, to spread development across the region so that we don't have Accra choked beyond its limits.
Because if we don't solve it for them, they'll all be coming to Accra.
Everybody will move. Yes, everybody will
move. All right. So we'll be wrapping up. Looking ahead, what are your recommendations for a comprehensive coastal management plan? That balances immediate actions with long-term plans.
The greatest step being taken now is the development of the policy. Once you have a policy in place, then you can now begin to implement it. So the Sustainable Ocean Plan, which is being developed, cuts across all the areas, not just coastal management, but also the blue economy in general. And once we have that as a document that is being implemented forcefully, then we can be able to overcome the challenge. Funding to be able to implement all the beautiful ideas that are in the legislations or the documentations that are being put together to be able to protect our coastal or marine environment.
And then what would you recommend? If government should say now funding is in and you want to tackle the coastal erosion, what would be your recommendation? Where do we start from? What would be your recommendation?
My initial recommendation would be that because the Kita area is under severe attack or is already eroding, the project should begin from there, especially with reclamation. Once reclamation is done, the attacks on some of the infrastructure that we have there will be curtailed. So it's one of the key things that we can do to begin with, to reclaim sand from the sea so that we can develop the sandbars again for all the things that we do. Recently, there was some national event over there, beach soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, without the coastal environment, you cannot do that. And this is an international, sports, which also brings in a lot of money, and a lot of our young people who are in that big money from there. So these are just some of the things that I can cite, and the reason why urgent action has to be taken to be able to contain the situation. Yeah.
So, finally, I mean, what would you tell government? 30 seconds.
Well, I'll call on government to move faster than it is moving now. A lot is being done, but we think that government should move faster and make sure that the situation does not get out of hand before we want to take any action.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Fiatui, for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, so this has been our second segment of tonight's program, and we've been discussing protecting Ghana's coastline, the need for urgent measures and sustainable solutions. And with me in the studio was Albert Derek Fiatui. He is the Executive Director for the Center for International Maritime Affairs, Ghana, who has made some recommendations, and we hope that the authorities who matter in this will take the steps to address our coastal erosion. My name is Solomon Anderson. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Iron Port. Join us same time next week.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K.